but I can see the feed on NBC Sports Boston here in the studio tonight, so I can see Dennis. Hello, Dennis. I saw you wearing your big red hat. What are those? What do they call those things?
I got the big hats here. I think they're just called big hats, right?
I like those. You got the nice red one right there. For those that are watching,
I don't know. This is fitting in my suitcase on the way home.
But. I know. How could you get that home? This is the Friday before the big game. The injury reports just came out, and really just to keep it short and sweet, Harold Landry and Robert Spillane were limited, but they both expect to play. Drake May not on there. This is the cleanest it's going to be, Alex, before the Super Bowl. This is probably the best case scenario, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's any major surprises here. I just got this Seattle half of it, too. I'm double-checking. Nick Eamon-Wari was a full participant today, so that's very encouraging for him. His injury status was one to watch. He did not get a game status, nor did Drake May, like you mentioned. Robbie Oots, their fullback, is the only player who is questionable for Seattle. So it's full go. Both sides, it looks like, more or less, yeah, Eamon-Wari was always going to play. I think Spillane and Landry were always going to play. They were always going to be in uniform. Are they 100%? How much are they going to play? How effective will they be? That's the question. That's what we'll watch. But May off of it is a big deal. I mean, that kind of tells you that they're not super worried about his shoulder. Not that I think there was ever a chance he wasn't going to play, but full participant all week. He seems ready to go.
All right, Alex, some things I did want to get into. Of course, we'll talk with Hardy. We'll have more prop bets for this weekend. I already had my phone was ringing today. Hey, Joe, What do you got for the weekend? So I think people are starting to get amped up. Obviously, it's 6 o'clock on a Friday heading into the big game week. So I'm sure that will pick up. We'll talk to Hardy in a bit. And I'm sure Bob Sosi, he's been giving us great guests all week. We had Austin Hooper yesterday and Kyrie's Tonga earlier in the week. So who knows who we'll have on with us today. I did hear a report regarding how the Patriots will cover Jackson Smith and Jigba, so I wanted to get into that with you as well. But can we just react to last night?
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame voting. It was probably closer than I thought it was. Matt Stafford won the MVP. Congratulations to Matt Stafford.
Yep.
He won the MVP.
A deserving MVP, and that doesn't mean Drake May didn't deserve it. Sometimes there's years where 2 or even 3 players have an MVP caliber season. Only one guy can win it, unless it's 2003 and they split it. So I for everything we're about to talk about, I don't think Matthew Stafford wasn't an MVP caliber quarterback this year. I just want to throw that out.
Yep. That's why I threw the congrats in there. He certainly deserved it. But I do have some issues with the voting, and I'm sure whether it's Hall of Fames or voting for MVP, I'm sure there's ways that they can fix it. I don't love the Justin Herbert vote. I don't love the Josh Allen vote, although I can understand why people would think Josh Allen was an MVP candidate. I mean, won it a year ago. But missing out by 1 or 2 votes in a 2-horse race is tough to watch. So I know there's been an outcry regarding the Hall of Fame and guys not getting in and who's been left out. But do you think it was the voting is fair, and do you think they need to fix it? And in the end, wasn't it a 2-horse race? Why are there 2 other guys in the race?
So this is what happened to me. This is what I thought happened, and then I'll add a caveat at the end. This MVP race was the same debate we have about MVP races all the time in all sports. Are we really picking the most valuable player? Are we sticking true to the term that is in there because the guy wanted to sell cars in 1911? If you look up the history of the MVP award, which, by the way, the word value originally pertained to both value to the team and to the league. It doesn't matter for this, just a fun fact. Are we really weighting that value word, and are we picking the most valuable player? Or is it the best player, the most impressive counting stats, and we're just simply calling it MVP? Because, again, that's a term that's been used for over 100 years in this part of the country, in this league. Other leagues, other countries like the Canadian Football League uses most outstanding player. Obviously, soccer has the ball d'or. They just name the trophy, or hockey names the trophy, and they say it goes to the best player. This is how football, baseball, and basketball choose to do it. If we're talking about the best player, the best counting stats, the most outstanding player, it was Matthew Stafford. It was. It's kind of hard to debate that, whether it's with Drake May, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, anybody outside of maybe Myles Garrett. This is all in the umbrella that the awards kind of asterisk because it's a quarterback-only award. if it's so, we all thought Stafford was the guy for the most outstanding player argument, the best counting stats, and then Drake May was the guy for the voters who assumed it's the most valuable player. But there's more gray area in value than simply best, because you can line up the numbers for best, and you can't deny Matthew Stafford had the most passing yards, passing touchdowns in the league, things like that. What I think we all underestimated was, okay, so it's going to be, and this is after last year. I know I'm kind of long path here. Just let me get there. Last year, the voters were instructed to go by value. And that's why Josh Allen won, even though Lamar Jackson had a significantly better season. And it's unclear if that instruction was given again this year outright, and how many voters took that instruction last year to mean moving forward versus just that season. I wrote about this on 985thesportshub.com. So that brings us to now. 26 voters voted for what I think, voted with what seems to be the driving opinion of, I am choosing the most valuable player in the league, the team player that was most valuable to his team. 24 voters voted for the player that had the best statistical season. The only problem was, of those 26, they didn't agree on who the most valuable player was, so the vote got split. And look, you can make an argument Josh Allen was more valuable to the Bills than Drake May was to the Patriots. You can make an argument that Justin Herbert was more valuable to the Chargers. I don't agree, especially with that second one, but you can certainly make the argument. I don't think you make the argument that either of them were more dominant than Matthew Stafford, and that's where Sam Monson loses me, saying Matthew Stafford was second on his ballot instead of Drake May or even Josh Allen, who, again, were the value candidates. But it just goes to the award being imperfect, because we don't really know what we're voting for. Nobody knows what they're voting for. The one time last year they're given some instruction, we get a really bizarre result that nobody expected that I guess was a one-off.
Yeah. What are the instructions year in and year out? It's like it changes to your point.
There had never been instructions until last year. Last year, this was new, and I'm trying to pull it up. I apologize. I don't have it right in front of me. But the voting body, and this wasn't revealed until this year. This wasn't revealed until January. The voting body was given instructions on how to vote on the award. This is from Rob Maddai from the AP. It's an AP award. Voters received guidance for the 8 NFL awards for the first time in 2024. The MVP award honors a player who had the most valuable, Maddai put that in all caps, the most valuable season. All-Pro honors the players at each position, so it's more statistical recognition versus value. So it was about the all, because last year it was split. Lamar Jackson was first-team All-Pro, even though he wasn't the MVP. It was the first time that it happened since the 80s that the AP All-Pro quarterback first team was not the MVP outside of the split in 2003 with Manning and McNair. So I guess that was a one-year thing.
Yeah. Again, I just, when I saw the Justin Herbert one, I went, okay. Like Josh Allen, I get it. I'm over it now, and I'm sure that in the end people want the Super Bowl trophy. But I do think that Drake May, going from a 4-win team to winning 14 games means something. And I think he's the reason why the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, or at least one of the big reasons why. And
yeah,
the other awards that went out last night, Josh McDaniels, Assistant of the Year, yep. And
yep.
Mike,
although that was really competitive. The coaching ones were competitive, I think, more so than MVP.
Yeah, who was the final outside of McDaniels? Who else got the big votes?
Vance Joseph.
Yep.
Clint Kubiak, Brian Flores. It was like heavy hitters, and then there's one more. I don't remember who it was, but it was legit.
Yep, and then Mike Vrabel, of course. I would have, if Liam Cohen won Coach of the Year, I wouldn't have batted an eye over Mike Vrabel. I would have been like, you know what, first-year guy, really good turnaround, got it. But in the end, it was Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year, his second one, which I'm starting to wonder now. As we are on the big game Friday, Alex, the Patriots are here because of Drake May, if you ask me. Like, the number one reason is Drake May's ascension.
Yeah.
But having Josh McDaniels now, 10th Super Bowl, and Mike Vrabel, who's been here before, 2-time Coach of the Year, man, they've really put this thing together. And, Terrell Williams, obviously, is going to be here. Nick Kerr will still be running the defense. But just thinking about that, the Vrabel, McDaniels,
Zach Core.
Zach Core, sorry, and the Vrabel, McDaniels, May. I just feel like that trio right there. that trio with the Milton Williams back-to-back Super Bowls and guys who played like Carlton Davis, etc. I think they're primed for this weekend, man, and we'll do our predictions later.
Yeah,
but I just love where the Patriots are at right now. They're the live underdog. They were slighted on some awards, specifically the MVP. But I think this is.
I didn't think Diggs was going to win comeback player of the year, but he didn't even get one vote.
He didn't. You know who got a vote over him? I'm trying to think of who it was. McCaffrey got a vote over. Oh, Phillip Rivers got a vote. Over.
I might have sprinkled a little something just in case on Phillip Rivers when that first got posted. So I can't talk there, but
I feel like the Patriots have them right where they want them. With all of this motivation and the chip on their shoulder. Right where they want them, Alex, and I think it's prime for the weekend. All right, we'll leave it there. Thoughts? 617-779-0985. We'll hear from Bob Sosi as well. And I heard something today about how the Patriots will defend the Seahawks wide receivers. I want to get your thoughts on it. And I asked you yesterday, how would the offense start? How does the defense start tomorrow? We'll ask Alex Barth of 985thesportsup.com. He's at a wrapping up Radio Row. I can see Jim Louth walking around. I can see Dennis, Jeff Garcia. Shout out to him who just got engaged. So shout out to him. I haven't seen him in a while, so I wanted to pass my congratulations to him. But we'll take a quick break. You're listening to the Big Game Preview here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Kid, having been with the Seahawks, how do you describe what this experience is like now, preparing to play the Seahawks as a Patriot in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it's truly full circle. It's kind of funny. I think it's more funny than it is anything. Just all my friends and family growing up, kind of going to those games too, and it's very funny, but it's truly a blessing. It's really cool.
Jake Bobo, Seahawks receiver, grew up as a Patriot fan, and he was rooting for the Patriots in Super Bowl 49, celebrating that win over the Seahawks. I'm going to guess you were rooting the other way.
I was a little young, and I remember when that play happened, I cried out in tears and pain, and it was pretty funny. But I got to know Bobo back at my time in Seattle. It's funny, we're both in flip-flop positions right now.
Who was your favorite player? Who were the guys you admired the most growing up?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like the Legion of Boom was amazing. So Cam Chancellor, Sherman, all those guys. Sherman was always the guy that, like, you're happy he was on your team, else you would have hated him. So very happy I got to root him on. But those defenses were amazing to watch.
And for you to take us back to your beginnings as a football player, someone who was primarily a basketball player, through most of your high school experience, how did this happen for you in the sport of football?
Yeah, I mean, I was always like a diehard football fan, never really played it. And then, my senior year, I just wanted to give it a shot. And so, I ended up just playing 2 games my senior year, got hurt. Being able to go through that, walking on at Washington, kind of each and every year, playing a little bit more, and then, it's kind of, my time in the league has been kind of how I started in college a little bit, and so just every week, just growing and growing, and it's crazy.
Hugh Millen, the former Patriots quarterback, played a role in your early career. How would you describe his influence on you as a football player, as a person?
Oh yeah, no, Hugh's been amazing. He kind of gave me the confidence that, like, I could be a good football player, because he played in the league for how many years, and played here, and he had been around a lot of great players. So for him to kind of see a little bit of those guys in me and say, like, you're not that far off, gave me a lot of confidence, even when I didn't even play football. I hadn't played a football game, and he still was saying those things. And so, he's someone I've leaned on a lot, and we talked a lot. Yeah.
So you go to UW, a team you grew up rooting for as well as a kid. You walk onto the football team, and you're part of a group as an H-back tight end that has a long pipeline now to the NFL. It seems like every week with the Patriots, you guys are going up against a Reed Otten or somebody else who played for the Huskies. How did you develop yourself there? How did you establish yourself as a guy who could be attractive in the eyes of pro scouts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I played around a lot of great guys. I mean, I think in my freshman year room, we have 5 guys that are in the league right now. And so, I got to see it first up and close and see how it was done. But, I was fortunate because at that time, like, the transfer portal wasn't big either. And so I kind of, you were forced to play younger guys at that time. And I would kind of, I don't think today would have worked out how it did, but I was able to play at a young age and get a lot of reps underneath me.
Some of the ties between the Huskies and the Seahawks in the recent past, Ryan Grubb's no longer there, did that have an impact on you getting to the Seahawks?
Can you say that again?
Some of the ties between the Seahawks and the University of Washington football program, did that help you land with the Seahawks?
A little bit. I think, our offensive coordinator had gone there to be the offensive coordinator. There was that. But, yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of a sense of, like, what I'm going to make the most comfortable decision, kind of. Looking back at it now, it worked out perfectly. But one of the reasons I came out here was kind of to get away from that comfortability, kind of throw myself in the fire a little bit, and really happy Elliot gave me the call.
What do you think's been most important in your emergence as a Patriot? To go from the tight end to a guy who's now the lead fullback, and you're playing a lot of snaps in these playoffs.
Yeah, no, I think I was a tight end all throughout the offseason, and so I still feel like I am, but when you got Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, you better look for a different way to get on the field. Those guys are at the best at what they do. And so, for me, it was trying to find a way to get on the field, not just make the team, but contribute, get on the field. And, this is what it was going to be.
And you've been able to do that, as mentioned, frequently in this postseason. You've got a catch in the playoffs. How much have you enjoyed just the experience? Obviously, you're winning, you're celebrating with your teammates, just on a personal level. And how much gratification do you take in the fact that you've helped this team get to this point?
Oh, no, it's all you want. All you want to do is contribute. When you're winning games, all you want to do is just play a part in those games. And so I take a lot of gratitude in that. This whole coaching staff has been really, patient with me and letting me grow throughout the season, and they've trusted me more and more, I feel like. It's been, improving every week type of thing, and so it's been cool to see that.
Looking ahead to this game, tell us about the Seattle defense. Strengths, it seems like they're fast, they're aggressive without blitzing a lot. What do you see from them?
Yeah, in my time there last year, I kind of have a good feel for the personnel-wise. Not so much schematically. I was a young guy then, so everything was going fast. But personnel-wise, they're from the D-line to the back end, it's they got players everywhere. But they play really fast. They play confident. They know what they're doing. I think, they're creative. McDonald's really creative in some of the stuff he does. But I think it's just like any game. If you just control what you can control, stay ahead of the chains, you'll be good.
Do people on the staff, your teammates, ask you for your personal memories, your scouting report on those Seahawks?
Not necessarily. What you see on tape is what you're going to get. I know a little bit personnel-wise, but it's, again, we've had 20 games, so everything you need to know is on tape, and so we got that.
Also on tape is how good they are in the special teams phase, and you're a big part of the Patriots special teams unit. Describe the challenge there.
Yeah, I think, in my time there too, under Jay Harbaugh, he's a really, really creative special teams coach. I think that's the one word I would use, creative. Really out-of-the-box thinker in a lot of the things he's doing, especially on the kickoff returns and some of the punt stuff and all that. And so he's a really creative guy, and that's something you always have to be prepared for and just stick to your rules. But, it's a really fun team to watch on special teams, to be honest.
Chad, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks. All the best to you. Matt,
all right, that's Seattle native Patriots fullback Jack Westover, Alex. I was trying to look up his anytime touchdown. Because I know it's not just him. Efton Chisholm also played for Eastern Washington. Was that correct?
Yeah, Efton Chisholm. He's another local guy.
Yeah, another local guy. So Jack Westover plus 3,000 anytime touchdown. What do you think?
Wow. They've had enough issues on the goal line offensively this year. They may need to get creative. Do they mix in a fullback dive? But if they mix in a fullback dive, is it Jack Westover or is it Kairos Tonga like we talked about yesterday? So we did this thing about who's this year's Malcolm Butler, who's this year's Chris Matthews, like the guys in the last Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl. Jack Westover's on my list. Mm-hmm. You want to break out a real new wrinkle, something the other team isn't going to see coming. I think Jack Westover's one catch this year. They have not used him beyond being that lead blocker. So you want to throw someone at Seattle that they really haven't seen. Jack Westover would be one of those guys.
All right, real quick before we hit the headline, I know we got Hardy coming up as well. I read today that Carlton Davis said that Christian Gonzalez will be shadowing Jackson Smith and Jigba most of the game on Sunday. Quote, "We're going to have Gonzo follow him. Obviously, he'll motion, and I'll probably see him a couple of times." You think that's what they're going to do, or that's just something that was said to, I believe it was Tyler Dunn who reported that earlier?
Look, I think it's something that they want to do. Why wouldn't you want your best corner on their best wide receiver? But what Seattle can do and what makes Clint Kubiak's offense so good is they have ways to hide their best player. They can move JSN in the slot. Gonzalez has not been as effective in the slot as he is on the outside. Last week, they put him in the backfield. And, if you're in a man call and JSN is in the backfield, you're going to have Christian Gonzalez line up in the box. They're just going to check to a run. Or are you going to have to make a change there and go to zone or this or that or whatever? So Gonzalez has not been a sides player really his whole career. I mean, he'll move around and yeah, they probably want him to shadow the other team's best player. This is an advantage for Seattle, though. Their ability to line JSN up literally anywhere after the championship game with how they used him in the backfield, literally anywhere, they can hunt matchups very efficiently by doing that. Now, is JSN going to line up in the backfield 10 times? No, probably not. And the Patriots now seen it, so they'll be a little more prepared for it. But I don't think Seattle's just going to – if that's the matchup, and Gonzalez is having success against JSN, right? I don't think that Seattle's just going to keep running him on the outside, and that's going to be that. And all right, well, that's the matchup. We have to deal with it. They'll move him, and they'll try to get him somewhere else where they can dictate the matchup more to their advantage.
All right. Well, plenty of more here on the big game preview. We'll ask Alex before we get out of here tonight some predictions. And I wanted to just, if you were going to do a draft, Alex, I wanted to know who your – maybe we could do it. Like, I just wanted to know who your top three guys are on Seattle. I got my top three guys for the Patriots, but maybe we can get into that and pick an MVP at some point. So we'll take a quick break. We'll hit the headline here, and we'll hear from Hardy. He's got more prop bets courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook. We'll do all that coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Robert Spillane, Harold Landry, and Joshua Farmer. Quarterback Drake May off the injury report, while Nick Emenwari also good to go. He was a full participant. And we got the Celtics here tonight against the Heat on the Sports Hub. All the coverage begins at 7 p.m. with tip-off at 7:30. Headlines, they are brought to you by the Road to 26. Don't miss seeing 2 international soccer. All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We're joined by Alex Barth. He's in San Francisco. It's the big game preview. We're finally here. We've made it to the Friday of the big game. And of course, we're previewing it all. And Hardy, he of the morning show here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And, of course, part of the FanDuel Sportsbook. Play your game with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Hardy, it's the Friday before. We've seen no line movement as far as the line goes. It's still stuck at 4.5. The total is now at 45.5. But it feels like everybody just wants to talk about props. And I know that you've had them all week. What do you got for us tonight?
Oh, we got the fun ones tonight. I don't know what you're talking about with the 4.5 points. Who cares? Let's talk about the important things like the coin toss. Now, betting heads or tails in the coin toss seems silly to me, but there is a little something to be said for the team that wins the coin toss. So if you're into the live betting aspect of this, Joe, for 8 straight years, from 2015 to 2023, the team that won the coin toss lost the game. Let me repeat that.
Yes.
For 8 years. I'm sorry. I'm telling you this like you don't already know this and you already have your live bet planned. But you lose the toss for 8 straight years, or if you win the toss, that meant you lost the game. Now, the Chiefs flipped that in 2024, but then it got flipped on them the following year. So if you're a believer in trends, you might want to live bet the team that loses the coin toss because traditionally, and this goes back, if you go back for the last 59 Super Bowls, I believe 34 times the team that wins the toss loses the game. And then you had that big, long stretch in there, too. So that's the only thing that I would be interested in betting the coin toss.
And that would be a live bet. So you can go heads or tails, and then whatever way it goes, then you can live bet whatever team you want from there. And the odds will be different, too.
Well, you just don't. I wouldn't bet the coin toss at all. I would just see who loses the toss and then bet them to win the game. That's how I'm looking at that one.
Okay.
I'll add this, too. The Patriots not won a lot of coin tosses this year. They have struggled at the toss. So,
have they been working on that this week as far as you know, Barth?
Vrabel said they're doing situational stuff. That's certainly a situation that comes up, so can't rule it out.
So what are you looking at?
They don't get to call it, though. Seattle's calling it to the road team.
So do you guys look at Gatorade color or any of that? I don't know what you have tonight, Hardy, but I know I've seen some odds change on the color of the Gatorade overnight.
Yeah,
I know orange was big, and now it's moving. It's moving in a favorite direction. What do you got?
Okay, so last year it was the yellow-green. There's no consensus on this. I don't think anyone has an inside track on this one. Really, what I'm looking at is like a good number. Purple seems like something that might pop up. I heard somebody say that they had some information as to that being the favorite flavor of a couple of featured players, and you're not going to like this, on the Seahawks. But purple is plus 700 right now. So if you were to force me to make a Gatorade bet, I would go with purple at plus 700.
Okay. I like purple Gatorade.
Yeah. Riptide Rush, I believe, is the flavor that was mentioned specifically.
Any national anthem?
Okay, so the anthem, do you know from Charlie Puth? If Charlie Puth walked into my house right now, I wouldn't know who he was.
Oh, I know who he is. Yeah.
Okay.
He had some bigger songs a few years ago, but he does this thing now where he's on social media and he gets really into like music theory and music construction and how all this stuff is put together and making beats and things like that. So there's like a viral clip online where like he's on Fallon, he like taps a glass and records it and turns it into a whole song.
Okay, well, that sounds torturous. But in terms of him actually performing the anthem, I've also heard of him doing some jazz experimentation, which would lead me to believe that it's going to go over. Now, I'm seeing anywhere from 119.5 to 120.5, depending on where you get it. But again, let's look at the trends. Last year, John Batiste went under, and that was set at 2 minutes, 5 seconds. Chris Stapleton went 2 minutes 1 second the year before, but that also came in under because the line was 2 minutes 5 seconds. So if you just want to stick with the unders, that's fine, but the length would we're talking about a lower total being set by the books right now. So I think they're hip to what's been going on with the anthem line for the last couple of years, and the line has been adjusted accordingly.
Yeah, I think
over.
I think I go over too because I feel like the long brave, right? Are you longer on free or brave? You know what I mean? I'm going to go brave, long, over.
You can actually bet the last note of brave. You can bet that at and the line I'm seeing is 3.5 seconds.
That's 3 seconds is a long time to say one word.
Yeah, but Charlie Puth, he's got it.
So they say the final note, but there could be multiple notes in the word brave. In the home of the brave.
Yeah, okay, I
just did like 8 notes there, but so it's the actual word that would have to go over 3.5 seconds. You're comfortable with that, Joe?
I'm very comfortable with that.
Okay. How about a scoregami? Happened in 2014.
Yeah, it's big. That's got some big odds right there. I know that one.
Plus 2,800 on the scoregami, which of course is a score that has never happened. Now, for it to be a true scoregami, it just can't be a Super Bowl score.
I was going to say, so just a Super Bowl scoregami?
No, this would be the actual. Oh, yeah, excuse me. Yes, a Super Bowl scoregami.
So it could have happened in other games.
Yes, it could have happened in other games.
I mean, there's only 60 games. There's a lot of scores you can get. That's not terrible.
That's
for
great.
Plus 2,800. You said,
odds.
Yeah, I like that.
Plus 2,800, final score to be a scoregami. All right. The Bad Bunny first song performed. Now, the only time I've cleaned up on any kind of halftime prop was during Lady Gaga in Las Vegas. I had a friend who was there who had witnessed the rehearsal, and the song that she started with was not listed, so you had to bet other. And I ended up cleaning up on that. But honestly, the only way I could recommend anything in this regard is if you got some inside information, which is why the limit on what you can bet on that tends to be very low. It's capped at, I think, about $50. Is that what you've seen, Joe?
Yeah, I would go Titi Mi Pregunto as the top song there, only because I've seen Bad Bunny a lot, and seems to be one of his opening songs at a lot of these. Plus, it's one of the most popular songs. I think you guys have been playing it in the morning, but you don't know the name of it. You don't know how to identify it unless you hear it again.
Well, I think the more interesting thing for the halftime props is always, will there be special appearances by anybody?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Lopez, it's assumed she's going to be there because she's minus 125.
Wow.
Whoa.
Because
they must have like a song together.
Well, Bad Bunny made an appearance at the halftime show for Shakira and Jennifer Lopez in 2020. So they're looking at this as him returning the favor to J-Lo, which is why she's at minus 125. If you're looking for more value, Shakira, also part of that halftime show that Bad Bunny guested at, she's at plus 340.
Where's Cardi B?
Oh, well, I got Cardi B props here. Now, these I pretty much go no on across the board when it comes to, will Cardi B be shown on TV before a certain point? I always feel when it's one of these like celebrity girlfriend, wives, even owners, these tend to go under. So the one prop I've seen is, how many times will Cardi B appear on the broadcast? It's set at 1.5.
Over.
See, I'm going under on that. And it used to happen with Giselle when, Brady was playing in the Super Bowl. I remember when the Super Bowl was at Cowboys Stadium. How many times would Jerry Jones be shown on the broadcast? I said 0. They're not going to show Jerry Jones, and if they do, it was once. I think 2.5 was the line back then. I'm like, pound the under on that. The broadcasts, with all the silliness that goes on around the Super Bowl, they do tend to stick to the game more than you would expect at this point, because we're all sick of talking about the game at this point. We want to talk about the other stuff, but when it actually comes on the TV, they tend to stick to the football. I think Cardi B, I would go under 1.5.
All right, anything else for actual game props before we let you go?
No, we did all those. I don't want to do any more game. Do you want to talk about this game anymore?
No, but will a record be broken? Whether it's rushing yards, receptions, pass yards, does anyone think a record will be broken?
I don't. I mean,
no.
Mostly, most of the records that you could conceive of are offensive, and I think the defenses are too good to allow a record to be broken offensively. Right. And I honestly don't think. I mean, defensively, what are we talking about? Sacks, picks? No,
maybe the first one that came to mind was most combined interceptions.
Oh yeah, that's not on there. Player passing yards 506. Will anybody beat that?
Come on, stop. No.
7
stop.
Passing receptions, touchdowns. I mean,
no.
Oh, okay. 15 receptions.
I mean, they volume JSN pretty. 116 catches a year. That's probably the closest, but I'd still lean no.
Okay. All right, guys. Anything else, Hardy? You got any wild card you want to throw before we let you go?
I got talked into one real quick here, and I just signed up for this before I got on with you guys. The same game parlay. How dumb is this? Anytime touchdown from Hunter Henry, JSN, Drake May, and Kenneth Walker. They all got to score 1, but if they do, my half a unit is going to turn into about $450.
All right.
Wow.
I'll meet you at Brook Meadow, and we'll have, it's on you that night. He's Hardy, everybody. Courtesy of FanDuel Sportsbook. Hardy, thank you for joining us all week long. It's great to catch back up.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Hardy.
All right, we got to go to break. We'll get our final thoughts, predictions next on the Big Game Preview, 98.5 The Sports Zone.
You're listening to Joe.
right, final segment of the big game preview. Alex Barth, thank you for joining us all week long. Excellent job, excellent coverage. And
thank you.
I don't have to tell everybody, but the 98.5, the Sports up in Beasley, did an excellent job. You guys got awesome guests. I don't know how much more we can talk about the game, Alex, but we have 3 minutes to go before we hand things over to the Celtics tonight. You don't have to get. Are you on Sunday? I know you've been traveling and you're out there, so you'll be on Sunday. So I'll
4
wait.
hours.
I'll wait for you to do that Sunday. Give your prediction then.
Okay.
But what are you looking at? And I'll just say this. I'll tease my thought. I see a high scoring game. I don't see a defensive. I don't see the defensive matchup. I think both teams are going to find soft spots, and I think the second half adjustments by Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels are going to force Sam Darnold to make a mistake. I think Kenneth Walker could have a fumble. They don't have a backup running back. I think it's going to be second half adjustments in a high scoring game.
The tough thing is, like, the Seattle defense doesn't have a ton of weak spots. If it's a high scoring game, I think that favors Seattle. I think it's a game that's won on early downs. Seattle is the best team in the league at converting on 3rd and 6 or shorter. They are 31st in the league at converting on 3rd and 7 or longer. So can the Patriots get stops on early downs? That Robert Spillane's a big part of that, stopping the run, wrapping guys up quickly after the catch, things like that. If Seattle can move the ball incrementally, they're going to be able to get up and down the field. And then on the other side of the ball for the Patriots, Nick Eamon fully practiced today. He was off the injury report, so it seems like he's good to go. They'll test him. And then after that, you're going to need some explosive plays by guys with ball in their hands, whether that's Drake May running, whether that's Stephon Diggs creating after the catch like he did for that game in Buffalo earlier this year, maybe finally getting Travion Henderson going, although I think in terms of the snaps, it's going to be a heavy Ramondre Stevenson game usage-wise because they're going to need him to pass block. The Patriots are going to need to make tacklers miss in order to pick up chunks in this game, and they're going to need to pick up chunks in this game in order to win. So those are the keys to me on both sides of the ball, and then obviously the keys for the defenses would be the inverse of that. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. I am leaning a little lower scoring. I'll give my pick because Patriots Hub podcast with Matt Dolph is now up. We did our post on that. I think we'll be up soon. And I'm going 24-20 Patriots. I think that interior pressure is going to be the difference. Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, maybe Corey Durden gets in there. Sam Darnold's going to give them just enough in the turnover department. I think both quarterbacks have at least one turnover in this game. But I think Sam Darnold gives them just enough that it opens the door. And it's going to be another one that's not pretty, and people are going to cry style points, but they don't put your winning percentage up there on the banner, and they don't put your scoring margin up there on the banner. Things just up there. So that's where I'm going. And
I just have a field goal more as far as points go than you have. So that's what I mean by high scoring. Drake May, Milton Williams, Marcus Jones. Those are the 3 best players for me.
Yeah.
In 10 seconds, who are the 3 best on Seattle?
JSN, Devin Witherspoon, and Leonard Williams.
Oh, Leonard Williams. Big boy. Alex, excellent job, my man. Seriously, great job. You, Jim, everybody out there, 98.5 The Sports Up. We got Celtics basketball. We get a little appetizer before the Super Bowl this weekend. It's the big game preview presented by FanDuel. We got Boston Celtics basketball next here on 98.5 The Sports Up.